talented, sexy, groundbreaking, a phenomenon. Today I'm lucky enough to meet the man himself. Come with me and enter the world of Mr.
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
What's for the sign of the lollipop?
Oh, Jason, we had the cream, but where is the coffee? Like I said, ladies, the coffee is all here.
It's the Y-bird stop.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a non-political party broadcast from the absurd mind of one of my viewers who had this to say about my meteoric rise on YouTube. Are you sitting comfortably, boys and girls? Not too comfortably, Mr. Solo. That's my place.
A house with a door. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, man, congratulations, dude. Holy cow, man. I knew you would it would succeed. I knew it. I remember, I called it. Remember from the beginning, like back in the day, you had a very humble subscriber base. As soon as I saw your thumbnail with the very first time, I think it was during that fiasco of, was that G4 meltdown or that Disney World Galactic thing, that disaster. As soon as I saw your thumbnail, I'm like, I clicked on it, I watched your video, and I looked at your subscriber base, and I said, that's not right. I said, this dude deserves an audience. And I'm like, this is going to happen. And look, you're discovering your audience. I've seen your viewer count. Man, I looked at it, and it was like, the thousands. I'm like, what? And that's just in a day, and that's just one video? Good job, man. Good job. I think you're just getting started in terms of the subscriber base and your momentum. Was it been 2 years already? You've been working so hard at it, man. You deserve it, man. You've earned it. Keep going. I do, like I said, I see you getting up to 10,000 subscribers at this rate sooner than I anticipated. But I remember at the beginning, I said, this guy's got to at least have 20,000. And, just keep going. And I'm sure you'll get there.
Do you know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, that classic scene from Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis in 1985. So good, so far, but what you're witnessing is the erasure of white history. I feel your pain, Mr. McFly. I sympathize.
Miss something.
I think I just got lucky. Because I'm black? It probably is.
Because you're black?
If a white man made Validate, it would be fucking everywhere.
Craig David!
She's a disco queen. Today's video, folks, is going to have so much cope, close encounters of the female kind, not the type I normally can't wait for, just the worst insufferable zip it up kind, because oh my god, this cope is so hilariously bad and so deluded that, listen folks, come on. You've been with this channel for a while now, right? You know that I'm not wearing a tin-foiled hat or conspiracy right here. Things are happening out there concerning Gamer 2.0, and it's only going to get worse.
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves, and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog
is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
For a modern gaming audience.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures, never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
No retreat, no surrender.
So I've got to thank my buddy who sent this link to me on TikTok. Normally sends me a lot of trash, but when I looked at this one, I thought, oh my God. So you're probably wondering, who is this lady right here? Well, if I shed some light for you, you'll soon find out. She's one of the people behind Baby Ghosts, which then became Weird Ghosts and is now Sweet Baby Inc. Eileen Mary Aloka, PhD, that is a strange surname. Eileen, they, she, because it's not she, her anymore, is a queer and disabled white settler living on Treaty 1 territory in Winnipeg, Canada. She is a writer, game dev, and community organizer, advocate with a background in theatre, games, poetry, in motion, and health communications. What you mean with 2020? To have a PhD in communication studies from Concordia University and have published extensively within and outside of academia. They are a co-founder of both Weird Ghosts and Baby Ghosts with Jenny Robinson Faber, not of Faber and Faber fame, as well as a member of Gamma Space Collaborative Studio. They also work as the general manager of Infinite Ammo. And bear that in mind, you know who Infinite Ammo is. It's what her late brother Alec Haloka founded before he decided that he had enough of the allegations thrown against him when he was dating Zoe Quim. But of course, you got to watch this video, folks, because this is absolutely a mic drop. 10 hours ago, this was posted, and let's have a check and see what Miss Lena, because yes, her profile on TikTok is Lean, as in like Eileen. Come on, Eileen. Again, a song from Dexy's Midnight Runners that had some weird connotations at the time. Here we go.
Now, because of the harassment campaign that's currently being called Gamergate 2.0, which did also target us, it is very difficult at times to stay quiet in situations like this because it can feel like your voice is being stolen from you, you have no control of your story. But I've also been thinking very intentionally about what is...
Folks, this is all hearsay, like that pop group from Pop Idols all those years ago. Ah, Mylene class. What is the most important stuff to talk about publicly? Well, clearly the stuff you're not going to be talking about.
The most important stuff to talk about publicly, and what will actually be beneficial and what will just feed the trolls. Social media tells us that we have to accelerate all the time, that we have to respond quickly, that we need to know everything that's going on, but the actual world moves a lot slower than social media. And I know this all too well because the acceleration of social media and online harassment were a very big component in my brother unaliving himself.
Yeah, your brother Alec, who unalived himself, you did believe him because you posted a tweet not long after his dad saying he had abuse, but you weren't there enough, it seems, Eileen, to actually help your brother against that piece of filth they called Zoe Quim.
If things had moved a little slower, if there'd been more offline conversations, I think things would have looked very different. And all of those things informed our values at Weird Ghosts. We cannot keep affording to accelerate the way that we've been accelerating. It is why so many people have been burnt out and left the industry completely.
So that's an interesting point. She says they can't keep afford to accelerating. What? You mean the people who are calling you out and your weird entities? Baby Weird and Sweet Baby Inc.? Come on, Eileen. Oh no, I can't believe I just said that. Are you sitting here, disabled, being deluded, and telling us, you're telling the game industry, you're telling all the big honchos out there, Rockstar, EA, Ubisoft, all these corporate giants, that you guys, the independent gamers, are really part of that landscape and you have to be listened to. Are you effing kidding me here?
Gamergate 2.0 discourse is so connected to the labor.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
In the industry. And this Gamergate 2.0 stuff is functioning as a major distraction, keeping us from forming collectively.
She's referring to Activision Blizzard when they filed that massive lawsuit against Bobby Kotick a few years ago. People were saying that things were so bad in the company of Activision Blizzard that some of them will be taking lunch breaks, like minimal lunch breaks, maybe eating or saving their money to buy food for their kids later on, or just having barely the minimum amount to eat and drink during the day at work, restricted breaks, apparently mother's milk being stolen from the fridge and being used in coffee. I mean, I sit here thinking, mama, but yeah, you had all those allegations. Bobby Kotick got away with it scot-free in the end, didn't he? He had a nice big gold paycheck, gold parachute, and off he went after Microsoft bought them. Of course, Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, is that going to solve any issues? Not really. It might quell a few things here and there from the HR point of view, but then of course Microsoft have laid off a lot of their staff as well. So I find it rich that she sits here saying, yeah, well, it's all about labour. I mean, look, for the longest time I've been following gaming since the early noughts. I've heard about the crunch. I've heard of, and actually I welcome the crunch. Again, people that work on a weekend, what will happen if they're working on a game title like, say, Gears of War 2, and you know it's going to be a big hitter out of the ballpark, then surely, and it has happened before, where a lot of these devs are rewarded with big bonuses because they gave up their weekends away from their family or their loved ones to work on a game. So hell, if I was in that position, I would want to sit there and crunch as much as I can just to know that later on your hard work is going to pay off. But according to Miss Eileen Holoka, it's all about labour, folks. So this game of 2.0 nonsense is a mild distraction because of what's really happening behind the scenes. It only gets so much worse, by the way, folks.
Taking care of one another. The layoffs aren't happening because of DEI and ESG in games. The industry is not losing money because of DEI and ESG.
Yes, it is. It is.
The industry itself is very profitable. The reason that the layoffs are happening is because the companies, even the companies who have mottos around inclusivity,
I can't wait to hear this one.
don't actually give a hoot about the people who are working for them. Now, more than ever, we need collectivity.
Yeah, can you show us receipts, please, Lino? Give us proof that people have been mistreated at a big video gaming company. Please tell us that. And why is this isolated to video gamers, developers all over the place? Is other facets of business outside of that industry?
We need cooperatives, we need worker-centric models, we need unions, we need to come together.
I'm sure we do.
And show a united front. Keep thinking and hearing this refrain in my head, this chant from the rallies against genocide in Palestine.
Here we go. So you just can't make it about video games. You've got to bring real world conflict into the scenario. Are you kidding? Really?
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. There are a lot of really major problems in the world right now, and there are a lot of people feeling very underrepresented and marginalized.
I'm not one of them, so I'm not sure what she's talking about. I don't feel any of those things. I never have.
And feeling threatened and like they don't have the ability to
feeling threatened because they're entitled to get the places of people more talented than them, and they can just walk in through the front door. I remember walking into an IKEA store last year with my female friend of colour, and it was a bit like a Bernard Manning joke because I'm looking around and I said to her, can you see any white folks around here? Can you tell me that something isn't going on in IKEA, a Swedish company? And yeah, we managed to find one white person in the end, not out of intent because he just happened to be sitting there by himself and he was a really nice guy. But everywhere else in that canteen while getting my meatballs, I was thinking to myself, something is definitely going on here. And it's like, I'm not like Roddy Piper from They Live, where you wear those glasses and they show you a different facet of the world. I didn't need those. I could see what was going on plain as day.
Or to take care of themselves, or to take care of others. And this is something we need to think about. It's easy to point fingers and blame the simple thing, but these problems are actually very vast and complex, and they require a lot of people working together in order to solve them. The games industry is so full of hurt and trauma.
Yeah, let me break wind.
It's hard to not be overwhelmed by that, consumed by that, and to, barely.
She sounds like that chick from Person of Interest that said, despite my colour, I don't get paid enough money. It's so hard.
Be able to function or just make anything at all. But that's because we can't do it alone. It's not an individualistic thing that we can solve. It is something that we need to solve together. This video is less targeted towards the trolls, but if you're gonna respond to this telling me
yes,
to get raped or to unalive yourself, I mean it genuinely when I say that I hope you will be okay. I hope that people will take care of you and that you will take care of others.
that smells nice. So she's automatically assuming that people who respond to the video are going to send her threats. Is this woman deluded?
Is that clear? Does that spell it out for you?
Yes, sir.
She's recreating Gamergate from 2014 because people went after Anita Sarkeesian. Even at one point, somebody made a video game where there's a character of Anita, well, there's an actual profile of Anita getting bashed around with various animated objects. So that was disgraceful. I mean, no one should do that, but I understand the rage then, and I completely get what's going on now. But of course, look at what they're saying in the comment section. I'm so sorry you had to go through all this because of some nasty little gamers. They really don't get that the industry is not dying because of wokeness. I'm like, are you kidding? But because of corporate greed. Now listen, I'm a big fan of capitalist greed and capitalism altogether, but people like Andrew Wilson, who works for EA, get rid of him and put me in his place. I've always imagined myself as a Ferris Bueller with a suit and the really cool sneakers, putting my feet up on a desk and telling people what to do and how to make the company a massive success. Every Friday's pizza night, drinking beers, weekend, we just relax, and on Monday to Friday it starts all over again. But can you imagine someone like Andrew Wilson doing that? That guy's about as much fun as hemorrhoids on a rainy day. Sif, the new Gamergate stuff is horrible. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for saying all of this. I heart you. You're doing amazing things. So good. You have such an important perspective on this. One of the bravest and most compassionate people I've known. Oh my God, Juan Soteleo 5747 laughs. So I'm wondering if he's laughing because he just thinks this is all a joke. If you thought this lady, Miss Eileen Holoka, was bad, wait till you get to the next one. But before I do, I want to give us a bit of a deep breath, or breasts in my case.
So let's have fun.
Shift up the people behind the forthcoming Stellar Blade and the very successful Nikkei Goddess of Victory. Stellar Blade developer Shift Up to go public at projected valuation of 2.3 billion won, or dollars in this case. Although the investment climate in the games industry remains turbulent, a new large public offering is on the way. South Korean developer Shift Up recently applied to be listed on the Korea Stock Exchange. Aye. So they filed an application on March the 5th and planning to list over 58 million shares on the Korea Stock Exchange. The number of shares scheduled for sale during the upcoming public offering is 7.25 million, with a par value of 200 million won per share. The IPO will be led by Korea Investment and Securities, NH Investment and Securities, and JP Morgan Securities Seoul branches. So Goddess of Victory Nike has been a huge success, well, double D huge, for developer Shift Up and Tencent publishing label Level Infinite. Here is how much money the game has generated on mobile in its first year. And it's quite, $600 million plus it's surpassed, which is amazing. Shift Up co-founder Kim Hae-young-tae remains the largest shareholder, owning 45% of the studio shares. Chinese tech giant Tencent also invested twice in the studio, meaning one breast here and one breast there, currently holding a 24% stake in the company. And what's interesting as well, and here we go, according to industry experts, the company could also become a target for investors from Saudi Arabia. that might be a good thing, I hope, because if this happens, you know, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, if they're investing in something like this, obviously they don't want it to come with wokeness. So I'm hoping that after the success of Stellar Blade, if it gets a sequel, it will double down on what we have as projected, beautiful, exaggerated female beauty, because the Arab folks love that sort of stuff. And I love them for loving that too. But honestly, if it goes to the wrong side of woke and suddenly, yeah, you better listen to what the investors are saying now. You need DEI and ESG for the next Stellar Blade game, or a Nike Goddess spin-off that might turn into a similar game to Stellar Blade. What do you think might happen? So, I wanted to save your glasses for this last video, and boy, this is something else. So this is, I've had to actually upload this on my own channel because this was a difficult video to track down. You have to be a follower of this woman to actually watch this video, but like Detective Columbo, I had to do some salvaging off online to get these bits cobbled together for your viewing pleasure. This woman, of course, is Alyssa Mercante, but if I took out the A and swapped it for the U, that would be more appropriate. But then, of course, YouTube would completely ban this video.
I'm Alyssa Mercante, Kotaku Senior Editor, and I wrote this.
Oh my God, did you, Miss Kotaku Senior Editor? Oh my God. Holy fuck, that is a face for the ages. This Halloween, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get your Alyssa Mercante picture or mask and put it on your scarecrow in the back garden.
Let's talk about it. If you have been in the deepest, darkest corners of the gaming internet, first of all, are you okay?
Yes, I am, Miss Mercante, but what deep, dark recesses of the gaming world is she talking about? Oh, the ones that she's entrapped in? God, look at that nose ring, that bull ring. I just want to pull that nose ring and yank that nose right off, Michael Jackson style.
Second of all, probably have already heard this story. Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative design company. They've done a lot of work on a lot of games.
You could say that again. They pretty much wiped them out into existence.
But that makes gamers angry, because they think that Sweet Baby Inc. is pushing a woke agenda into their favorite games because of the woke agendas that they push.
Holy fuck. Can we just check that out?
Push.
Do you like my lip bite? It's really sexy. I mean, I found Britney Spears singing Hit Me Baby One More Time, where she's doing all the tongue flicking a lot more appealing than this monstrosity right here. Who, by the way, is Sicilian, and she should not be proud to be a Sicilian if she's ruining other good Sicilians all over the world.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Well, good. You're Italian?
Yeah, I am.
You're Italian.
I'm Sicilian.
A Sicilian? I'm
Yes.
Sicilian too.
That's a good thing.
She's a terrible person, this Mercante. I just punished myself. I've just left it on loop. Oh my God, this is just hilarious. Wow. What could you do to that face right now? Well, something that I wouldn't do to a beautiful woman's face. Ooh.
The Steam page now has well over 100,000 followers, and there's a Discord that is spun off.
Actually, what is the latest figures for that Steam curator page by Brutus Rambo?
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show.
Page, and it contains exactly the kind of shit you would expect it to contain.
Apart from the shit that you leave in your bed every night. No, it contains links and bios and everything else that Sweet Baby Inc. has published thus far.
It's like, get new material! You've been doing the same joke for 10 years!
Kotaku's been doing the same joke for 10 years as well, haven't they? And it's funny that she's got a Stellar Blade thumbnail behind her with all the things that are problematic about Western female gaming characters in the West, and in the East is the complete opposite. It seems that there's a lot of brainwashing going on in here, and it seems that the West wants to try to convert the East into their way of thinking, and it's not going to work. I'm sorry, it's not.
Get new material.
No.
Oh my God, would you, fellas, I got to ask you a question. If you went out on a date with this person right here, this non-entity, would you kiss that mouth? Would you kiss it? If somebody paid me $100,000 up front and said, Jason, can you give Alyssa Mercante a big, sloppy French wet kiss for a minute? Would you do it? Yes, I would, because I'm a capitalist. And then afterwards, I'll just do what Jim Carrey did in Ace Ventura and loofah the hell out of my mouth.
You've been doing the same joke for 10 years! All of this anger and ire is obviously rooted
Which you're perpetuating right now in this video, by the way.
in racist and problematic sex.
Yes, yeah.
But it also has to do with the fact that people just fundamentally don't understand how game.
Oh, the racist and sexist problematic tropes. Yes, in Resident Evil 5, where apparently Sheva Alomar should be replaced by a black male character because, again, you can't have the female gaze, or the male gaze, rather. But then again, some females are into females, aren't they? And yes, mowing down black infected people in a made-up part of the world that's not actually specified. It's even more relevant now. No, it's not.
Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative design company. What they do is join a game,
Infiltrate.
long into development, as a sort of freelancer, a contract worker. They'll zhuzh up some dialogue, or they'll add NPC barbs, or maybe they'll write funny in-game ads. Sometimes they're hired to do cultural checks on characters that already exist. Like, for example, Alan Wake 2 was made by a team that is mostly from fucking Finland. Of course, they would want someone who might have similar experiences to a black woman in America to check to see if their version of Saga made any sort of sense.
Are you fucking kidding me, Miss Mercante? You're actually You're throwing shade at Remedy Studios, one of the best video gaming studios out there. The people behind the first two Max Payne games, Quantum Break, Control. But now she's saying, well, it's an all-white contingent in Finland, but when they made the character Saga Anderson, they should really check themselves and think, hang on a minute, if you had a black woman in this role instead of a native white woman, that would probably make the game better. And in fact, the final version of Saga Anderson was so boring. She walked from A to B looking for clues, but unlike Columbo, couldn't find any and was absolutely useless in her role. So I don't know what this entity right here, Miss Alyssa Mercante, is even talking about.
But no, gamers assume that means that Harley Quinn killed Batman in Suicide Squad because Sweet Baby Inc. came in and said, kill all men.
Yes, they literally said that because Kimberly Belair said, I want my games to have no white men in them. They all have to die, and replace with DEI instead.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
I'm a cuckoo, I'm a teapot. What's my pronoun for tomorrow? I don't know, but stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Sweet Baby Inc. didn't even get involved in Suicide Squad until long after the game was done. Like, the story was done. They were in there to add color and texture to dialogue.
They certainly added color all right by race swapping Deadshot. They're well done, yeah.
Sweet Baby co-founder David Bedard said to me that the people making these games, the people at the studios, they want to make the experience better for all players, which means...
Yeah, the same David Bedard, the co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., who actually put a blacklisted statement out recently where he said if anybody dares report DEI or ESG practices to content creators or the press, I'm going to make sure you never get work in this town again. It sounds a lot like Hollywood, doesn't it? It's awful.
Diversity and representation are getting baked in there naturally because you know what? There are other people other than straight white guys that play video games.
Well, that's true. I'm a straight brown guy, but I've never looked at gaming as gaming of color. I mean, you got black girl gamers on YouTube, of course you do, but I buy a video game because I want to play the hell out of it because it's got great shooting mechanics. a hot woman in the lead protagonist role, or there might be hot women in the video game that I want to be drawn to. I mean, can you imagine the next Splinter Cell remake, what that's going to be like? I dread to think already. Good God.
Our identity to the table is incredibly insulting.
Identity?
People can't imagine that we might not do anything else but DEI, is what the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. said to me.
God. This is the same Elisa Mercante who infiltrated, apparently, a Discord group for Sweet Baby Inc. just to see what was going on. In fact, it was the Discord group for the Sweet Baby Inc. detected people. And she's like, oh my God, all the stuff that they're talking about in there. But apparently, she said that she was a Kotaku journalist, and then she got booted out of the Discord server. So she's not much of a journo, is she? She is absolutely awful. So on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, and I do apologize if I've ruined your Sunday and your Sunday roasts, do leave a comment below. Do hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if I were you, and if you were me, hello, Mr. Anthony Starr. I can't wait to resume my adventures with you on Season 3 of Banshee. You can catch me on the next video.
You serious? No, you've been doing the same job.
What's that?
If the supplier can't deliver,
then Revere's customers start to shiver.
you're a poet, Rico.
And my mama knows it.